In recent years, Marcus Rashford has been one of the few bright spots at Manchester United, which has been plunged into a deep crisis and continuous scandals. But this season something went wrong with the Englishman. What has shifted in Marcus's life and why he has suddenly changed so much? We will tell you in this video. So subscribe to the channel and let's get started! It's no secret that the last decade has been extremely difficult for Manchester United. The club has lost its status as a European powerhouse and is no longer a regular Champions League team. Coaching turmoil, poor results, a war between owners and fans, scandals with players – all this had a huge negative impact on the club's well-being. And amidst all this darkness, Marcus Rashford always looked like the guy who would represent his club with dignity and fight for it to the last. In particular, last year, it was Rashford and Bruno Fernandes's efforts that helped the Mancunians return to the Champions League in the first season under Erik ten Hag. It seemed that with the arrival of the Dutch coach, the Englishman would blossom into his full potential and become the flagship of a new era for Manchester United. Indeed, last season was fantastic for Marcus. The club did not always look perfect. After all, the new coach needed time to convey his ideas to the players. Let's also mention the conflict involving Cristiano Ronaldo. Then the Mason Greenwood case. The Red Devils had plenty of problems off the pitch. But Marcus's efforts overcame all the troubles. He was a true leader of the team. This is confirmed by the numbers. In 56 matches, Rashford scored 30 goals and provided 11 assists. In terms of goal contributions, it was the best season of his career. It seemed that it would only get better. United entered the new season, if not as title contenders, then at least as favorites to be in the top 4. However, reality hit harder than anyone could have expected. The Red Devils started the season disastrously. 5 defeats in the first 10 Premier League matches and 2 defeats in the opening 2 rounds of the Champions League, including a home fiasco against Galatasaray. At the same time, the team was hit by an injury outbreak. There was also a public scandal between Erik ten Hag and Jadon Sancho, which resulted in the English winger leaving the club in the winter. But against this backdrop, the most disappointing was the performance of the leaders, especially Marcus Rashford. The halfway point of the season is now complete, and Man United's number 10 has only 4 goals and 6 assists in 26 matches. Rashford's poor form was compounded by rumors of the winger's poor work ethic. And the culmination of this was the scandal that Marcus got into at the end of January this year. On January 26th, the club announced that Marcus Rashford had missed training due to illness, followed by a cup match against Newport Town 2 days later. However, in the modern world, it's very difficult to hide any information. Later, it was reported that Rashford had actually been clubbing in Belfast the night before the club was informed of his illness. Therefore, his absence from the team in the following days was clearly rated as a disciplinary violation. A little later, The Sun, known for its scandalous investigation, found more details of that night. According to the waitress, Sarah Adair, Marcus invited her to Thompson's Garage Club in Belfast after she served him lunch at her place of work. She said that Rashford went on a 12-hour tequila drinking spree while in Belfast. The waitress claims that at the end of the night, he was so drunk that he dropped wads of cash in front of her in his 5-star hotel room, moments before she was forced to put him to bed after he passed out. He falls back into the wall, and I have to kind of scoop him up and onto the bed. He was fully dressed, and I reckon he just passed out like that. He didn't even get under the covers, Adair said. Perhaps this was the lowest point of the incredible footballer's life. Like this video if you would like to see Marcus back on track as soon as possible. Of course, the club was not very happy about the situation. Manchester United already had a lot of problems, and now the team leader is involved in a nasty scandal. The official statement from the Red Devils was as follows: Marcus has taken responsibility for his actions. This has been dealt with as an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed. This implies 2 things. The first is that Rashford has apologized, so they decided not to apply severe sanctions to him as they did to Sancho. Can be perceived by the player as a weakness and a license for further violation of discipline. But the club is not in a position to discard their best players. Daily Mail reported that the attacker might be fined 2 weeks' worth of salary, that is, £650,000. Secondly, it's that the club is already fed up with off-field scandals and want to minimize the media coverage of the situation. When asked about these at a press conference, Erik ten Hag avoided answering in every way possible, saying only that it's an internal matter, I'll take care of it. Of course, the coach can't be happy about all of this. The Telegraph writes that Erik ten Hag is increasingly concerned about Rashford's behavior. He thinks he's untouchable. This hasn't been the first time where he's had a misdemeanor. It's been continuous. He has no respect for the manager and no respect for his teammates. That's the bottom line, Sports Star columnist and Premier League winner Chris Sutton said. Such incidents affect the entire team. Daily Mail reports that Rashford's teammates are angry with him over this breach of discipline, especially the senior players. The newspaper cites an unnamed source as saying that the players could not believe he did it given the situation the club is in. According to TalkSport, Manchester United coaching staff are concerned Marcus Rashford's lifestyle off the pitch is having a negative impact on his form on the pitch. Sources close to the player feel he's in complete self-destruct mode, and there are fears that some in Rashford's inner circle have too much power over the 26-year-old. There is also a theory that the attacker's morale has greatly affected by the situation with his fiancée Lucia Loy. At the beginning of 2023, the couple suddenly cancelled their wedding, but in November, they were spotted together again on a date. This time, however, Lucia was not wearing a wedding ring. It can be assumed that Marcus was unable to solve the problems in his personal life, which shook his mental stability. And this in turn led to this high-profile alcohol-related incident. Obviously, the situation is very unpleasant, and the player has to get out of it himself. However, Rashford shouldn't be demonized either. Still, he can learn a lesson. What speaks in Marcus's favor is that he realized that he had screwed up pretty badly. So he attended a meeting with his brother and agent Dwayne Maynard, football director John Morto, and manager Erik ten Hag at Carrington on Monday, with United wanting to establish the truth about last week's events in Belfast, The Athletic reports. It seems that the club and the player have resolved the situation, as journalist Laurie Whitwell wrote that Marcus has returned to training with the team and will be available for selection for the match against Wolves in the 22nd round of the Premier League. Of course, everyone can make a mistake, and Rashford is no exception. It should not be forgotten that Marcus has been lauded in recent years for his charity work and even received an MBE for his efforts to battle food poverty. The Englishman has a fairly clear civic position and proper values. Everyone can fail. What matters is what conclusions we draw from our mistakes. Marcus needs to choose the moment for parties a little better and show with his performance on the pitch that he is still a top player we all know. Then, everyone will forgive him for this mistake very quickly. Friends, please write in the comments how you feel about Marcus's misbehavior and how he should correct his mistake. Also, we invite you to check out our other videos that you can see on your screens now. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye!